Hey, good day guys. So, my Learn to Channel course begins on Saturday. So I thought for those of you that don't know that much about me, a bit on the fence, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about how all this began for me. Perhaps set your mind at rest, perhaps not after you heard the story. Anyway, so around 2008, I got interested in ufology, into UFOs, and came across the work of Dr. Stephen Greer, CE5 contact meditation, where you go into meditation, you do visualizations to guide ET ships into our reality. And bizarre as this sounds, I had a series of 3 UFO sightings over my parents' house back in Lincolnshire in the UK back in 2008. So sometime after that, I came across the channelings of Bashar, channeled by Darrell Anker, who I think I kind of manifested, because in my CE5 meditations to contact the ETs, I was visualising the faces of grey ETs, kind of like the only ETs I knew about at the time, like pop culture ETs. And I manifested Bashar, channeled by Darrell Anker, who is a hybrid grey ET. So he's a bit more positively oriented, like the greys are kind of more neutral and kind of just got this agenda. They're not negative, by the way, in case it might seem like that. But Bashar is a hybrid ET, and so I started following the channelings of Bashar, channeled by Darrell Anker, and I started applying the techniques of following your excitement moment to moment. At the end of 2009, I followed my excitement all the way to Amsterdam on a random trip for my birthday weekend. I got the ferry just totally randomly across to Holland and spent the weekend in Amsterdam, came back to the UK, and on the Monday morning I followed my excitement one more time to a local forest and had this massive kind of contact stroke awakening experience. I don't actually remember having physical contact with extraterrestrials, but I believe I did, due to a lot of energies, a lot of memories that came back afterwards, and the fact that somehow I knew extraterrestrials are real for sure after this experience. Very bizarre. And also I had this massive like awakening and like spiritual experience where I felt one with everything around me, went into kind of bliss or total bliss, euphoria. And in the days after that, I kept going back to the forest trying to rekindle this experience. And I think one of the days I went back about 3 or 4 days later, it was perhaps the first time I went back, I'm not sure, a couple of days later. Just as I was approaching the forest, I heard this voice in my head saying, "Hello, good morning," and kind of like that. And it was telepathically totally in me, and as I got to the forest, the communication went deeper. There's a lot of personal stuff, and I'm not sure I'm quite willing to share that yet, but it's super personal stuff they talked about with me. And so I was communicating with the ETs. I'm now fairly sure this was either the Yahyel or the hybrid children. I'm still not, it's a slight difference, it's another whole story, but very similar beings. But basically the hybrid children are from our timeline in the now, and like the progeny of the abduction program, the greys. This is how the hybrids got produced, like it's a half human DNA, half grey DNA, a grey extraterrestrial, or a concoction of the two done genetically engineered. And so the Yahyel from the future, from around 1,000 years in the future, I think the ones I connect with. And so I became super telepathic after that, and super empathic, super energy sensitive. I remember in the days after that, I'd be driving back to the forest one day, and there's this car on the other side of the road, and I was like, holy crap, I can feel like that guy's emotions, and he's like 20 meters away in his car. This is insane. And so that was my kind of first experiences of telepathy and empathy. And so it was that was like 2009. So I experimented with channeling a little bit in the years after that, but it really wasn't until around 2000 and I don't know, it's around 6 or 7 years ago I started channeling professionally. It seems a long time now actually. So if you look at my YouTube channel and go back to the first videos, like sort by oldest videos, you can see when I started channeling, and that was the time I started channeling professionally. And about a couple of years after this, I got picked up by Vice Media, like the super big like social media and entertainment like I don't know what you call it, but you know, some of you will know Vice Media. They got like 10 million subscribers to their YouTube channel, huge followers on Facebook, and they interviewed me in London. I did a channeling of the Yael on a London rooftop about Brexit and some things. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, and it got like 1 million views within a couple of days and kind of went viral, like semi-viral, I guess. I don't know if like it was probably about 5 million views in total through all the platforms. Does that class as viral? I don't think quite. I think you need like 5 million views in like 2 days or something to be classed as viral. So it wasn't quite viral. But anyway, it's a lot of freaking views. So I've been on UK TV. I've been on Australian mainstream radio, the Kyle and Jackie O show. Who was it? A well-known Irish radio host. I can't remember his name now, but Niall Boylan. Niall Boylan, apparently super well known in Ireland. And I've been on UK TV now as well. So I got around a bit. And so this is kind of my story, and I still channel professionally. I had a little bit of a break over the last year because I've been processing a lot of stuff. I did ayahuasca, the plant medicine, and like I went a little bit crazy after that. I did like a mega dose. So I took a year out just to process and heal and go through a lot of stuff. And now I am back, and we have the Learn to Channel course running in 2 days. So there's 48 hours left to register. So I'm going to be teaching you how to connect with extraterrestrials. Obviously that's my thing. Also like all sorts of beings, angels, interdimensionals, nature beings, your higher self, source consciousness, probably even future versions of yourself. That's something that's come up. I think we're going to tune into plants and animals, because like actually this plant here, I was sat here in like a kind of a euphoric state the other day. I've been kind of very up and down, processing a lot of stuff, but I've experienced a lot of bliss and euphoria and oneness in the roller coaster I've been going through recently. And like when I was in one of the high states, like I totally tuned into that. I can feel it now. Can you feel like how this plant is actually conscious, and it's got its own personality in a sense? It's definitely got a personality. It's very it's not quite like a human personality, but anyway, we'll be learning to tune into plants in the course, maybe particularly this plant, because this honeysuckle, I think it is I've been connecting with. So possibly even animals. Something came up in a reading someone did for me about connecting to animals. So yeah, so the course begins on Saturday. So you've got 48 hours left to register from the time of this video. Maybe even a little less now. So yeah, so I hope to see you there. It's going to be epic, guys, and you will be able to learn to channel for yourselves, for others. And so if you want to set up a career as a channel, or you just want to do it for fun, or you want to connect with the star family just to experience their euphoric energies and go into like kind of bliss states and go through your own epic transformation of consciousness and ride this wave of expansion and acceleration as we go into the year of 2022. So hope to see you in the course, guys. The link is below. Shivai.